Now will we see the magic?
All right, where's Murray? Okay, who is it?
This is Jesus, kid.
Know then that it is the year 10,191.
Yes, we are bored. We're all bored now.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Hello and welcome to Mary vs. the Movies with your host Mary Jones.
And Dennis Lane.
And this week we have a special guest. First of all, this week we are watching Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind, which is a very early-ish Studio Ghibli, I guess.
It is, in fact, not Studio
It
Ghibli.
is not Studio
It is
Ghibli.
the film that they used to fund Studio Ghibli's.
Thank you from our guest this week, Scott Johnson. You've brought the movie over so that we can watch it, and you're also here to promote the con that you run. You are like our go-to anime guy.
Convention, not con, as in.
Well,
I mean,
he's not flying Con Air.
Yeah.
I mean, are you?
Maybe.
So we're watching Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind. This is one of the Miyazaki films I have not seen.
What year is this?
It's like 84.
Ooh. So
I guess.
I was going to look that one up.
Yeah.
It was, I believe it was actually 78 or 79.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, now is that
it came out in the U.S. in a horrifically cut version.
Oh.
In like 1985.
Okay,
but
that's
actually,
right.
this is a late 70s movie. I know it's slightly outside
that's
of.
good. No,
that's actually still way. It's after Star Wars is the
yeah. Basically,
kind of the cutoff now, and it'll change.
It'll change because it's my show and I can do what I want. But no. What we kind of realized at some point was the real era of the show is from like 1977 to about 1993. Basically, it's bookmarked from Star Wars to Pulp Fiction.
Wait, you were right. It was 84. I think the manga was obviously prior to that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about that for a second. This was originally a manga written by
and drawn by Hayao Miyazaki. And he was working on that pretty much through doing various other films. He would take the breaks to take breaks on the manga while he's working on these other animated films, which he would do ridiculous amounts of work on.
Right. Yeah, because, we think of like his work from this onward, but of course he was working for other studios, I'm sure, like before that. Yeah, and he was writing manga. Is this the first time like he got to direct a film or?
No.
Okay.
I believe that was Castle of Cagliostro.
Oh, I've heard about that one.
He also did various episodes of some TV shows like Future Boy Conan and oh man, I think there's like a fox, like there's something with a fox I'm forgetting about.
Okay.
He didn't happen to do Marine Boy, did he?
Marine Boy? Not to my knowledge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still don't believe this Marine Boy show that you...
It exists.
Does it?
I've seen pictures. He chews oxygen gum to swim underwater.
Well, that's just logic, obviously. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm still waiting for that.
They can come up with all kinds of stuff like, the CRISPR and gene editing and all that type. But they can't get us to swim breathe underwater.
Wait till you see
I
the
want
abyss.
my gills. I want my gills. Basically, I just don't want to drown. It's not so much that I want gills because that sounds gross, but I just don't want to drown. So anyway, so you not only have the movie, you brought over the actual like hardcover manga collection.
Yep. Yeah.
Looks very cool. I did not look at it very much, obviously, because I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah. This movie takes place in about there's 2 volumes in that collection, and this movie is kind of the first volume.
Okay.
There's a lot more going on in the manga than in the movie. The movie does a great job of condensing a lot of it.
Well, the nice thing then is that, he gets to adapt his own work. He gets to decide what can get cut down, how to condense these things. I mean, that's kind of the ideal situation, is to be, the person who adapts your own work.
The funny thing I was telling you about was that they did bring this over to the U.S. in the 80s by this other company who continually tried to make it a children's movie, like really tried to cut out all the aspects of it. Mm-hmm. And it was so horribly cut apart that Miyazaki was resistant in bringing over a lot of their films until they eventually made a deal with Disney in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that's where you had all these released. And their rule was no edits. You could get the rights, but you could not alter anything about it.
Okay.
Because of how badly they cut this movie up when they brought it over originally.
So the version we're going to watch is the uncut version, I assume.
This is the Disney 2004 or something like that release,
okay.
I believe.
Original U.S. release, is that floating around anywhere, or is that
It's called Warriors of the Wind.
Okay.
I can't really talk about it without spoiling it.
That's
so
fine.
We can talk about it afterwards.
We'll do that. I'm actually really curious to hear what was cut out once we actually watch this. Okay, so let me think. Looking at the cover, I'm assuming this is, and like briefly looking at the inside of the book. So I'm assuming this is science fiction. I don't know for sure. And most of my assumption that it is science fiction, aside from, I think I saw some guns, was all I know is there's a girl on the cover and she's wearing what looks like, to me, the first thing I thought was that looks a little bit like a skiing outfit. And so it's like, if if your pants look like snow pants, you're in sci-fi. If your pants look like leather, you're in fantasy. I mean, that's kind of my rule. So I'm going with, this is probably sci-fi. And beyond that, I genuinely don't really know anything about this.
I forget the cover. Is she like riding some kind of like wave thing in the sky, or I don't remember. I didn't look at the cover, so
no, I'm looking at the cover just of the manga, and she's just standing there, and I'm not even sure what's going on in the background. Again, I'm trying not to spoil myself too much, so because I am a person of integrity. Sort of.
So I'll tell you one other fun fact on this. My daughter, Kay Winnett, she attached to this movie as a child, as like a 5-year-old. For some reason, I showed it to her. She doesn't like movies. Mm-hmm. She watched this, and this was the movie she watched like every time we were on a road trip. So it was in my van. In fact, I just took it out of the van. It's probably not been out of the van for like a decade. And she's watched it probably over 200 times.
Wow.
And so I was blessed to have a child who got obsessed with a actually good movie. Yeah. It's not like she wants to just watch Shrek over and over again or something. Yeah. So it's great.
Yeah. It's nice when kids actually have taste.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I don't really have a whole lot more. I mean, if Dennis, if you want to ask your questions, we can do that. But beyond that, I don't have much more, unless Scott, if you have anything you want to add before we watch it. All right, hit me, dude.
All right. Do you think that there is a love triangle in this film, Mary?
No.
All right. Oh,
No.
You're going to be wrong on that one.
Am I?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
My lips are sealed.
Okay.
Do you think there is a dog?
Yes. Sure.
Okay.
Why not a dog?
I don't remember any dogs in a Miyazaki film. I don't know.
Wait, isn't Princess Mononoke riding a big wolf?
Yeah. But that's
a
later
dog.
on.
That's a dog, Dennis. What do you think that is?
So is there a cool car? And it can be a flying boat.
Yes.
It can be
like a cool vehicle. Yeah.
It could be
sure.
Porco Rosso's like Italian plane.
Oh, that
Those
was
things
cool.
are awesome.
Yeah, love
Great
that.
movie.
I'm gonna say there's like a cool vehicle.
All right. Do you think that there's a angry dad figure?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a girl on the cover. Is she the star?
I think she is Nausicaä.
She's Nausicaä?
Am I saying that right?
No.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's Nausicaä.
Nausicaä.
You know
Nausicaä.
what? I said that.
Yeah, but you're often wrong.
I know.
I used to pronounce it wrong. I'm probably even pronouncing it wrong now.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
Okay.
It's a hard one.
No, that's good to know.
It sounds like a water ski,
Nausicaä?
Yeah. Like the Nausicaä 5000 or something. Okay, is there a death?
Yes.
You think?
Sure, absolutely.
All right.
Why wouldn't there be a death?
I wonder if that was cut from the other version.
I don't know. If you can't come up with anything else.
Love Triangle, Brothers. Is there a Brothers one?
I don't think we've ever asked about brothers.
Think there's brothers?
Yeah, why not? People have relatives.
Yeah. All right. Do you think it has a happy ending?
No. Well, what define a happy ending?
Well, like enemy is defeated. Do you think there is an enemy?
Well, I think people are fighting. It looks like there was fighting going on.
All right.
I mean, I don't think it's a tragic ending necessarily, but I honestly don't know. Now I'm trying to think. Like, I'm I don't know how similar this is to other Miyazaki films that I've seen, but often there's some sort of lesson, not a lesson being learned, but like there's like a lot of personal growth. There aren't always enemies. Can you think of an enemy in Kiki's Delivery Service? No, exactly. So like, but I have a feeling there is some, what, aging? I don't know. Puberty.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of anything. So yeah, no, I think it will
Gravity.
be gravity. Yeah, actually that is. So yeah, no, I think whatever the ending is, it will not be, I mean, this isn't going to be like everybody dies at the end. This isn't like Russian or something, so yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it is anime.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, and you said it's not for kids. So that's why I assume there's plenty of death, but I just don't know that it's going to be a tragic ending.
Okay.
Well, maybe it will be. I don't know.
So it's a war film.
I don't know, Dennis. I'm guessing. I could be thinking of a different movie. I could be completely forgetting, like, I'm going off of like a half-remembered image on the internet once.
Coming of age story, do you think?
I mean, she looked young on the cover.
All right.
So, yeah, why not?
All right.
Okay, so if that's it, you want to go watch this movie?
Scott, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
All right, hit it.
風の谷のナウシカ髪を軽くなびかせ風の谷のナウシカ眠る森を飛び越え青空から舞い降りたら
I have to say, I held it together pretty well, given that this entire movie is built around giant bugs, which, I'm perfectly happy eating, let's be honest, sea bugs, shrimp, lobsters, crabs. But once those things are on land and crawling around near me, I am a screaming little girl and I do not want to see giant bugs. And this movie says, what if you had compassion for the bugs? And I say, well, that's why you're the Messiah and I'm not.
So you would have been the antagonist in the story.
No, I would have just tried to avoid being near the bugs at all. Like, I respect what they do. I understand that you have a part to play in the ecosystem. I'm a gardener. I know that, like, I need to have like grubs in my compost. I need to have bees around, and like you do your job, leave me alone, and that's fine. Also, you guys creep me out. You're really creepy looking. I'm sorry, I just can't get used to the way the bugs look. I never will. But I respect them. So no, I would not be trying to harvest a bug or like kill all of the bugs. I mean, I practice some type of compassion, but bugs, giant bugs. Oh my God.
You sure? I mean, it was called the Toxic Jungle.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have some sort of. I mean, look, they have like magic tentacles that can heal people. So they obviously.
But they didn't know about that.
Well. Yeah, I gotta say, I often wonder, would it be so bad if we eradicated every mosquito? I mean, would that be a bad thing? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of bugs that, I can see what they do in the ecosystem and it's very useful, but the mosquitoes are just terrible. They're so obnoxious. They're like people talking at the movie theater, but, in affliction form. All not to mention the malaria. Yeah, I don't know. Bugs. Me and bugs are not friends.
You notice there was no mosquitoes in this film.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because oh my God, think about like, okay, so the bugs that are in this, you have the almae, and they are like just gigantic. Oh God, what do they look like? The trilobites, kind of. Yeah, they look like kind of like giant trilobites or something.
They also look like the Nautilus.
Yeah.
The sub from. What's it called? 20,000 Leagues?
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Yeah. Actually, nice segue, because I find the art in this movie really interesting. And I presume that the manga is very similar, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like very close to the manga, being that it's written and drawn by the same person who is directing this film.
But what I find interesting about it is the style makes me think of Mobius. Do you know who Mobius is?
No, not offhand.
Okay. So I think most people know his work if they've seen Heavy Metal.
Okay.
Both the magazine and the movie, although with the movie he had no input on that. They just completely ripped off his style. But I mean, they didn't rip it off because the whole point was to recreate it, but he didn't work on it.
Well, Heavy Metal was a French magazine. He's a French
artist,
comic artist, and he worked on Tron a little bit. He designed some of the Tron, and there's some. It's very obvious, like, oh, that's Mobius. But and he was one of the guys. One of pretty much every cool guy worked on Dune,
right?
Jodorowsky's Dune at some point.
Yeah, there's definitely like Dune vibes in here too. Yeah. But so the thing with Mobius is his artwork heavily influenced Star Wars, which of course was basically just ripping off of Dune anyway. Yeah. But there's just something about the look of everything where it's sort of this weird combination of very gloopy organic sort of stuff. It's not exactly tentacles, but do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like all of the way that the trees look in here almost look like how we envision brain cells and whatnot, right? Like neurons connecting each other, and that's very Mobius. But also there's just something about the way the buildings look, about the way the different the ships. The thing with Mobius is it's sort of this intersection of Art Deco and brutalism.
He seems like a connection between
not Art Deco. I'm sorry, Art Nouveau and brutalism. Sorry, go ahead.
He seems like a connection between like modern comics and like Winsor McCay.
Yes.
Like his stuff looks like it seems like a lot older.
Winsor McCay. That's what I'm trying to go for. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Do you know who Winsor McCay is? Okay, so it was like the
Gertie.
Yeah, Gertie the dinosaur, and then
okay, gotcha.
Like Little Nero, with the Adventures in Slumberland or whatever. It's like all these comics from 100 years ago. Yeah, and if you go from Winsor McCay to Mobius to Miyazaki and George Lucas and what you said, Tron, but just a whole bunch of other stuff kind of springs from that. And once you have Star Wars, everything goes from there. Yeah. Really
makes sense.
Yeah. So what's interesting to me is watching this, because I've seen other Miyazaki films, but they don't look like this, right? They are not realistic, but more like in environments that you can recognize on some level, right?
The clouds look like it. I mean, the clouds like that. This is right back to Porco Rossi.
That's true. That's true. But
you gotta remember, this is like one of his first works.
Yeah.
So like everything you're seeing in all of those works derived from this one. Mm-hmm. So like the focus on airplanes and flight, and always having a cute little animal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, this definitely having seen other of his films, like I can see how this is similar to with the cute animals. I mean, you can't not think about like Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle. Or even Kiki's Cat.
Yep.
Kiki's Cat.
Phil Hartman.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh God, I still miss him. So yeah, I mean, you can see, and again, like the emphasis of like a young girl as a protagonist, that is a constant with him, you know.
Who flies?
Who flies?
Who flies? Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So it's kind of fun watching this and seeing like, oh, I can see how he returns to themes, and they're already here. Right. He was already working with these themes, and like everything that comes after this is sort of refining different aspects of what he wants to like talk about. Right. So the environment is a big part of it. Pacifism is a big part of this. You know, a determined young woman is going to save us as part of this.
Well, you can see one of the things you really see is generational attitudes, right? Like the older people in this film are very much like, our fate is to die, and that is just what will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, Baba.
Oh yeah, I do like there's a sort of a this is very much fantasy. I read somewhere like the Earthsea books were an influence on this, which I've never read, but you have, Dennis.
Yeah. I'd see it a little bit. Like, yeah.
Well, I think just the probably the environmentalism part of it.
There isn't really an antagonist. Like, people are occasionally antagonists, but then they switch over.
Or at least I think there's an emphasis on, okay, they're an antagonist. Why are they an antagonist? Why are they the bad guy in this? So you have what this film shows us is at least 3 different kingdoms. We don't necessarily know I don't know if there are more in the book.
It's extensive.
Oh yeah, I'll bet. Well, I can see how thick the collected works are over there.
Yeah.
But so we have 3. We have Nausicaä. Sorry, let me say your name right. Nausicaä.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nausicaä is the princess of the Valley of the Wind. Her father is king. So they're like a little isolated kingdom in this beautiful valley by a sea. Then you have the Tolmekians?
Yep.
So you have the Tolmekian Empire and the Pejite.
The Pejite.
Pejite, I'm sorry. The Pejites, who are...
I don't think we see Tolmekian... we don't see where they come from. We just see their ships.
Yeah,
Right.
you don't see it in this much because they're kind of like in everybody else's space, but in the manga, you're in that space a lot.
I mean, you know, they're easily a stand-in for, I don't know, like any... We're living there. Let's just put it that way. So
I read something that the wings of their ships have like yellow on them, and which is what the Luftwaffe would have.
Right.
So I'm sure that was intentional. So.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have these couple different kingdoms, and so the Tolmekians are more the imperialists. The Pejites. I'm gonna
Pejitians, I guess.
You know, we only watched this movie half an hour ago, and I'm already forgetting how to pronounce things. God. So they are a conquered city who still have like their own royalty, but like they've obviously been overrun by the Tolmekians. And so the Tolmekians have this. Okay, before we get even further, so you have these 3 kingdoms. 1,000 years before, the industrial world that we all currently live in fell under 7 days of fire from big organic monsters.
Techno-organic. So I'm sure that the manga fills us in on what actually happened. And we don't actually need to know for the rest of this film. I mean, you know, it's enough the film introduces us just enough to like what happened in the past. It shows.
Yeah, it shows. It's fine. I don't need to know actually
Doesn't
like
tell.
where they came from. You know, it's fine. But I am curious just like where did these giant things come from? Are they from outer space, or did humans make them as weapons? They were made as weapons.
Yep.
Okay. So this is obviously a stand-in for, you know, the nuclear era that we live under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
What a
100%.
shock.
Whoa, a poisoned world from a war that happened years ago. What could this be representing?
How weird that he would want to make a movie that has that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 1,000 years have passed. We are in like this kind of neo-medieval, in that people live in small villages and carry around swords, but we also have flying airships. So you know, it's like that kind of fantasy crossover of space wizards. It's again, much like Star Wars, and Star Wars didn't invent it either. You're really going back to Dune again. It's space wizards. So it's the idea of you can have both magic and she has this, these abilities of talking to animals, not talking, but like sensing animals and all that type of stuff. But at the same time, you have airplanes and you have guns and you have swords and you have that kind of mashup of technologies, which frankly I love. I'm like, yes, combine the two. That's all I want. I mean, that's the type of stuff that makes things like Star Wars fun, right? I like the space wizard nonsense. 1,000 years have gone past. The world is being overrun by a toxic jungle that obviously is the result of the 1,000 years ago, destruction. And in the toxic jungle, which has all these toxic trees that give off these spores, and if you go into the jungle, you will die, so everybody has to wear a respirator. You have the giant bugs, the ome, and the people of the Valley of the Wind will use like their discarded carcasses as building materials and whatnot. So they have much more of a living with the land type of relationship to what's going on there, but they're very scared of the jungle for obvious reasons. It's supposed to be poisonous. So but Nausicaä likes to go into the jungle and collect spores because essentially she's doing experiments to figure out like what exactly can we do about this, because her father is dying from the infection. The jungle is growing ever closer to her village, and so the fear is that when the jungle gets any closer, everybody's going to fall to the infection. So the Tolmekians, their whole thing is they're going to burn down the jungle and reinstitute humanity as being able to conquer the globe. They want to go back to industrial civilization and essentially having big empires, and
they came in peace.
They come in peace. Yes.
Yeah, they came in peace. They were totally peaceful through this whole movie. The Tolmekians did nothing wrong. They were just trying to deal with the toxic jungle.
Yeah.
Never mind killing a bunch of people.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Have any of you guys ever read Eddie Tacitus?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, Roman historian. He wrote his books on for instance, he has a book called Agricola, and it is not about farmers, but it is about a Roman general and his conquest of the Britons. And there's a famous speech in there where this British chieftain who's been conquered and dragged back to Rome, and he gives this whole speech about how the Romans come, they make a desert and call it peace. So, I mean, I have to think that this was in the back of Miyazaki's mind, actually, because it's a kind of a famous speech from the ancient world about conquest and imperialism.
Yeah, It sought the lands and make it uninhabitable. Yeah, exactly,
like what they did to Carthage. Exactly.
Or Pedgite.
Or Pedgite, yes. I think the Pedgites kind of are a good stand-in for we're not entirely conquered because we're not all dead yet, but we know this is what's coming for us, and so the Pedgites have found kind of the egg or whatever, the embryonic form of one of those giant monsters from 1,000 years ago that burned everything down. So obviously, what they want to do is get a hold of that and use it to drive the Tolmekians out and regain their homeland. This is obviously a bad idea. So
well, they didn't really get to implement like they wanted to. So who knows?
Oh, it might have been fine. I'm sure it would have worked okay.
Yeah.
They kind of dug too deep. Like the thing that makes the world really cool, I think you were talking about how you like the setting, is the whole idea of forgotten technology.
Yeah.
Or we've lost, we have some technology that we've managed to keep running, kind of like how the gunship is in there, and people are like, ooh, that gunship, that's going to be a problem. And you notice some ships are way more powerful than others because they're probably more from the precursor technology of the age than the stuff that they've patched together since. The Pedgites are digging to find artifacts from the Forgotten Age, and then if you come across the forbidden weapon, and then suddenly you've now caused the Empire to be very interested in you.
Frickin' Balrog.
Yes, exactly. It is like that. So you've got Lord of the Rings in there. You've got a book called Canticle for Leibowitz in there. Have you ever heard of Chemical Friendly Bullets? Sort of a similar idea of a neo-medieval North America where these crazy monks are trying to get their hands on an atom bomb in the American Southwest. So kind of the same idea,
Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Yes, it's Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, I see. You know what? You know when something's a good movie? When it has all these influences, and yet when you're watching it, it still feels fresh. It feels like its own thing, right? So that yes, I can watch this and think, oh, this reminds me of that. This reminds me of this other thing. Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Star Wars, whatever. But it never feels like you're watching a bland copy. It still feels like its own, story. And this film does a very good job of being its own story. And that's why I get a little annoyed when people say, oh, well, such and such a thing is a trope. And I'm like, it's useful to find patterns just because humans like patterns, and it's kind of helps you understand why a story works or doesn't work, or how to invert a story even. But just because a pattern is there, just because you've seen that before, that's not what's important. That's not what's interesting. It's like, how do they use it? What are they using it for? And in this, this is pretty. How do I put this? This is definitely a story that has a very strong point of pacifism and mutual cooperation, as opposed to, hey, if we could just get our hands on these weapons, we can restore the old glory. So
there's a lot in this film.
There's a lot in this movie. Yeah, I'm trying to think how do I explain everything that happens in this? Yeah.
And the rest.
Yeah.
Oh, what about swordsman Yupa? What's his
Master
Yupa?
You mean Patrick Stewart?
Yeah. Dude, there's your Obi-Wan, your Merlin, yes, he is the mage. Not literally a mage, but he is a swordsman in this. But these types of stories, you want to have. Here's the older warrior guy, the older guide, who is sort of there to be both a how do I put this? Like, he is, part of the past, but he's sort of like the good guide from the past, if that makes sense, right?
Isn't it interesting that he's introduced having made a mistake and has to be rescued by Nausicaä? Like, they established Nausicaä's character right in the beginning of the film. Like, you could see she's not afraid of the toxic jungle. She's going in and she's super happy to find this carcass of an ohm, so that or the skin, I should say. It's the extruded skin. And so that she can bring it back to give supplies, and then she's immediately worried about both the insects and the human that could be being attacked in the situation. And it just establishes her character immediately without having to tell you much.
So many times when you have a story where it is following this is the prophesied person, this is the chosen one, it's not that interesting, right? The character isn't that interesting so often. It's kind of like they have to be a hero, and so it's just kind of following them being the hero. And what I like about this is you figure out pretty quickly, there is a prophecy that after 1,000 years in these dark ages, the person in blue is going to come, across a field of gold.
Excuse me, a man in blue.
A man in blue. You're right. You're right. Well, that's how the wise woman in the village described it. That there's a tapestry.
And so once they say that, I'm like, I keep looking for people in blue, and so the lieutenant
the general of the Tolmekians.
Yeah. Prince Humperdinck.
Yeah. I mean, to be okay.
I was like, he's got blue on. Is he going to somehow change by the end of this thing? I don't know.
Well, that is a nice misdirection.
Yeah.
That he's wearing blue, but also Nausicaä is wearing blue as soon as we meet her. Her top, out part of her outfit is all blue. She's going to become the chosen one, but it never feels faded in a way that is annoying, right? Yeah. That so many of these, well, you end up being the chosen one person is important. It's like, No. Again, I think they do just the right level of world building where, like, I understood, okay, there's a big bad empire that wants to kind of reconstitute civilization. There is the mid-power that has been conquered by them and kind of kicks off a lot of our problems. And then there is our peaceful people that we're all supposed to side with. Like, they didn't make it over complicated. You know, I mean, there are people who go in and see, like, Dune, and they're kind of like, what are we, who the heck are, what, Benny Gesserit? What are we talking about? Or, you know, so, like, it never does that in this. I think it's at the right level of condensing the storyline. So I was never confused, which is saying something. This ship crashes in the Valley of the Wind, and it was the Pejite.
The Pejite.
Pejite, thank you. I'm never going to get it right. The Pejites had found this embryonic form of the giant monsters, and they were going to bring it back to their city and raise it to drive off the Tolmekians. The ship crashes in the valley because it was covered in the bugs because where they had found it was in the toxic jungle, I assume. Or somewhere like that, wherever there were a lot of bugs, they found it. So it crashes in the valley, and the only person who survives is the princess of the Pejites. Nausicaä is the one who rescues her and she says, "Look, burn what's on the ship. Destroy it."
Yeah, she's like, "Destroy the cargo. The cargo's been destroyed, right?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Don't worry, it's all burned.
Yeah.
You're good."
But also, you see, she's a prisoner of the Pejites.
Yeah,
she's actually a prison.
Of the Tolmekians.
Yeah,
they had originally tried to get it, so then the Tolmekians stole it from the Pejites, and were taking it back to the Empire. And of course, what this thing is like the monster. So because of where it crashed. Next thing you know, the Tolmekians are invading the valley, and they're pretty darn quick to kill the king, Nausicaa's father. And this is where we get kind of an interesting development in her character, where she loses it. I mean, she is just in there ready to slaughter.
She does slaughter a whole bunch of people. And that's an interesting point about her, right?
Yeah.
Like up until that point, and after that point, you notice she never kills anybody, but at that moment a lot of people die.
Yeah.
And what I love is that happens, and then later she has this moment with the swordsman Patrick Stewart, Lord Yupa, and she has this moment with him, just says like, "I'm terrified of myself because I wanted to kill everyone there." The dark side. Yes, it's very much and she is so terrified of her own anger and her own fury and what she did that I think it helps kind of crystallize the rest of her motivation in the film. Not just, I don't want there to be war between these different factions. I don't want there to be burning down the toxic forest or anything else, but it's also as much about trying to change what she knows that's latent inside of herself. If she's not careful, even somebody who is a committed pacifist has it within them to be under so much stress that you're going to let it out and kill a bunch of people. And so obviously what do you do when you recognize that about yourself? You have to realize you have to change the world so that you never have a reason for that to come out. And so that's really what this movie is about, is changing the world so that you never reach that point again, right? That's great. That's so good for a kid's film, honestly. Right? That's brilliant, really. Because it's quick to acknowledge that we all have that in ourselves. Yeah. Even Nausicaä, who is like kind of, almost too good in some way. The fact that you have that scene where she does kill people and is so horrified by her interactions, like you have to have that in there for her to be a realistic character. Yeah, because otherwise she'd be too perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we already know that she can charm animals, essentially. That she's brilliant. She's coming up. She's figured out the secret of the forest. Right. Yeah. So part of what she's a brilliant scientist, and she is this great princess, and everyone loves her, and she's kind to everyone, and the reason the people love her is because she actually loves the people and cares about them and is talking to them all the time, and she's so ideal, so that you have to have that scene where she kills people. So they are under the oppression of the Tolmekian Empire, which is run by this prince. Well, I mean, it's run by an emperor, but the person who has come to invade is a princess played by Uma Thurman and her general, who's played by Chris Sarandon, and I'm forgetting their names, unfortunately. Also, apparently, when they did the American first release, when they changed all their names for some reason. I mean, oh god,
I forget names like instantly. The only reason I know I can say Pejite or Tamikia is because I've heard it dubbed in the background while driving at least 200 times.
that helps, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Do you know how many times? You do know how many times I've done a show and I just start referring to the characters as the actor's name because
yeah.
I don't remember things. Come on.
Understandable.
I mean, who are you? Yeah.
Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like Edward James Olmos in this. He is sort of like a pilot for
one of the old men with a beard.
Yeah, there's a lot of old men in the Valley of the Wind.
With beards.
They all, oh my god, everybody in this has a great beard or a giant mustache or whatever.
And Patrick Stewart, he's got like as I said, it looks like he's just eating a tribble.
Yes.
I realized something. We were watching the extras afterwards, and Patrick Stewart was saying like, "Oh, this is great because like he has this big beard, so I don't have to lip sync in another language, try to match lips with this character because he has this big beard." And I realized actually probably most of the male characters have beards, so that they don't have to worry about the lips moving. Because one of the things I was telling you about was that this was before Studio Ghibli existed, so they didn't have a team of dedicated animators.
Right.
So they were just pushing it out to all these different groups, and so having everybody in a beard meant that you didn't have to worry about different mouth movements, which is kind of funny when you think about it.
And what they also do is, so then Princess Kushana, the evil Uma Thurman character, she's wearing a mask half the time.
Oh, yeah.
Nausicaa is wearing a mask because they're in the jungle and they have to wear, respirators. So they do a lot with that. That is brilliant on their part. I'm sure in the manga they're not wearing masks all the time the way that they are in this. They've been. Oh, that's right. She's taken as a hostage.
Yeah, and she encourages the people not to fight back.
Yeah,
just because she doesn't want to see your people get killed.
Yeah, if they try to fight back, obviously they will just be slaughtered. So she says, "Look, don't do anything. I'm going to go with the Tolmekians as a hostage," and they are brought back to Pejite. Right?
They don't actually get anywhere.
No,
that's right.
They really fail at trying to get back anywhere in particular.
as one of the Valley people say, like, "Oh, the armor on these things is terrible."
Yeah,
and they fly away in these I think 4 big airship things.
Yeah,
and a little fighter escort.
Yeah, and this one little ship, I guess Pejite.
Yeah,
comes red like the Red Baron, and flies down and just pretty much takes them all out.
Yeah.
Pretty fast too. It's whoo, flies down from the sun, and
I had to open up Wikipedia to get the summary of the movie I just watched.
I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, 2 hours. It's 2
hours,
a lot going on
and
there.
a lot happens, and I'm trying to remember when did they go to there? When did they go to that? The hostages, they crash land in the toxic jungle, and she ends up eventually. She goes and rescues the pilot that was shooting them down, and that turns out to be the Princess Lestel.
Yep.
Lestel. Her brother Aspel, who is then I guess a prince of the Pejites.
Yes, Pejite. You got
Pejite?
it.
He's a prince of the Pejite.
I keep hearing Asbo when we were over in England in 2006 for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
We heard about these ASBOs. It was an antisocial behavior ordinance.
Yeah.
That they would give out to kids who had hoodies on.
Yeah, it was like if you are, just a kid who's like wearing a hoodie and listening to rap music and hanging out at the convenience store, you get an ASBO.
And
like you just literally described every child in Britain.
I know.
What are we doing?
So of course, it would be a badge of honor to get an ASBO. And
Asbo wasn't a delinquent. Well, maybe to his people.
Yeah. It's Shia LaBeouf.
So
of course
maybe
he's getting ASBO.
Yeah, that's the least that guy should get. But he is good in this. I do like his voice acting in this. He is young. He is pretty young.
He was really young in that documentary.
Yeah, it's really weird. We watched the documentary afterwards about all the voice actors for the American dub, and aside from just it's like Mark Hamill does definitely look younger there. Yeah. Patrick Stewart looks the same, and and Shia LaBeouf is a child, and that just threw me for a second, because it's only a couple years later, I guess, that he is in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Mark, by then he's like an old pro at this.
Oh, I know. And
he's already been done Batman, and yeah.
And we'll get to him in a second because we're almost there. When she is in the toxic jungle with Aspel, they end up in quicksand and go down beneath the floor of the jungle underground, where they're finding all of these trees petrified trees. Yeah, petrified trees. Yep. And it turns out, like, under the surface, it's not toxic. That essentially the sand and the roots and everything else is purifying the toxicity of the surface level of the jungle.
Pretty bright too, for some reason.
Dennis, just suspend your belief. It's fine. Like, do you really want to go and watch an anime that looks like season 8 of Game of Thrones or whatever?
Yeah, that's a good
No. Yeah.
There was a hole in the ceiling that they fell through. That's where the light came through.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
And sand would just pour down. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool effect.
Without any of the poison from the top.
I did think about that. Like, how is it not like filling up with poison right in here? Like, you broke the seal. So, I just love that it's quicksand, because when you're a kid, you want nothing more than to encounter and survive quicksand.
Also, what's more 80s than quicksand, right?
Right.
I know.
Exactly. So she and Aspel end up kind of becoming friends. So and eventually they make it back to his city, and they find out that it's been completely overtaken by bugs. Like, a lot of everything is devastated, and it turns out that the Pajites have been luring the insects to try to fight the Tolmekians, and it just does not work for them because it kills everything.
Yeah,
it's really bad planning.
I don't understand their whole logic there. When they eventually meet up with the Pajites, they're like, oh well, like, why wouldn't we just have the bugs roll through and just turn our city into the toxic jungle? We'll just burn it all and then bring it back. And I feel like nobody has succeeded to have that happen afterwards. So I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
Right. Well, I mean, if you think about it, in some sense, I think it's sort of a metaphor for other countries pursuing nuclear weapons after the United States has already used them, if you think about it, like, or that type of thing of, well, wait a minute, we could also do this horrible thing and then we'll be safe from the horrible people. It's just like, that might not work, guys. You might end up just like kind of ruining your own city or whatever. I don't know. I shouldn't try to look for metaphors too closely. This isn't an allegory or anything, but I do think it is. I do think there is something to that idea, though, of you think you're going to fight these people off this way, and it's like, no, you're just going to burn down your own city. But so that's when we encounter the mayor of the town, who is played by Mark Hamill, and of course Mark Hamill is one of our great voice actors. I mean, he's done stuff. I mean, most famously the Joker. And when I think of the Joker, I do actually just think of him, more than I think of, Cesar Romero or Jack Nicholson or Heath Ledger. I mean, to me, he is the Joker, But of course, he is also Luke Skywalker, and it is nice given the resonances that this has with similar films, similar stories. It's kind of fun just having him in there as one of the voices.
Yeah.
Also, like, I finally get a crossover that would not annoy me of Star Wars and Star Trek.
Star Wars, Star Trek, and Princess Bride.
And The Princess Bride.
And Battlestar Galactica.
And Battlestar Galactica,
yeah.
you're right, because Edward James Olmos.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, honestly, this is the only way I will take a crossover of those different franchises. I mean, seriously, this was great. I'm so, you know. She is taken prisoner again because the Tolmekians are still in town. So, you know, the Pedgites are supposed to hand her over to the Tolmekians, but they all conspire to set her free. You know, the women of the Pedgites conspire to get her set free from the Tolmekians. And so then Nausicaä, what? No.
Sorry.
What did I get wrong?
Yeah, no, the Pedgites are going to, because they know the Tolmekians have the god warrior robot crazy thing, they are going to lead the insects to the Valley of the Wind.
Well, the men are going to do that. The women aren't.
No, but I mean, like, the group that's in charge is going to do that. Then they're the Pedgites.
Yeah.
Remainder. They're the Tolmekians. They're going to kill them all.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, yes.
With her, they're just holding her hostage.
Right.
Like
They're
not,
just keeping. They didn't want to kill her because she, like, one, she saved their prince.
Yeah.
And two, like, you know, they're trying to be the humanitarians, and so they're not going to just take her out.
Lestelle's mother does.
Yeah.
You know.
That's because. Yeah, because he talks to her and tells her the full deal, and she's like, "Oh my God, we just eliminated our whole culture.
Yeah.
Why are we going to go eliminate someone else? You know how, like, some
Right.
people want to burn it all when they lose everything, and some people are like, well, we should maybe just stop so that we don't, like, eliminate everyone. We've screwed ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the women of Pedgite demonstrate there. They're saying, like, we already really screwed up.
Yeah.
So, like, you need to go so you can save your people because we already lost our people.
Yeah. But you're right, though. What the men had done was they having thought that, like, well, okay, the bug thing didn't work the first time. What if we do it a second time?
Yeah, let's do it a second time.
And this time we're going to send it towards the Valley of the Wind.
And who cares about those people?
Yeah.
I mean, the Tolmekians are there.
They don't even have a name.
Yeah, they're just the people of the Valley of the Wind. They need a cool, unpronounceable name like the Pedgites.
Exactly. You know, maybe if you guys had, like, thought harder about, like, having a flag or you know, do you even have a national anthem?
Why didn't you invade anybody?
Exactly.
Then we might not have done this.
You know, if you weren't a bunch of, like, women and old men and farmers and, like, happy villagers, maybe you wouldn't, like, be dead already.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They set a stampede of the Ome towards the valley, and the Tolmekians see this is coming, and essentially the Pedgites kidnapped a baby Ome and are using it to lure the giant stampede of bugs.
Now, I was reading about this. Is this the Pedgites or is this the Doughcore, another group?
Well, okay. So it sounds like this might be a difference
That's
with the
manga.
Yeah.
Groups.
Okay.
So it is in this. It's the Pedgites because that's why they don't shoot her because they think she looks like the princess of Pedgite.
Yeah.
But
Because she's wearing her outfit. That's how they break her out.
Yeah, the mother dressed her up like her daughter, essentially. Yeah.
those guys are very manga based.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
She is able to liberate the baby Ome, which has been horribly abused and is bleeding everywhere and is trying
missiles in its back and
it's terrible. And as she is trying to heal this creature and keep it from getting into the lake of acid, she gets squirted all over with its blue blood. Mm-hmm. So the red dress she was wearing is now turning blue.
What?
That can't possibly mean anything. So the bugs come, and the bugs are everywhere, and they're just going to take over everything. At which point, a half-formed giant monster comes over the hill from the Tolmekians. The princess, whatever her name, Thurman, is just like, all right, time to unleash the secret weapon, which is only half-baked at this point. And you have this very gross and gloopy monster humanoid figure coming over the hill and letting loose a big old laser at the bugs, and you have, a bit, looks a little bit like, I don't know, a nuclear bomb going off.
Yeah.
Does not, yeah, whoa, that seems odd. Why would you draw it that way? I don't know. The only the front line of the bugs is killed off, though. There's still plenty of bugs, and they are coming, and they are all glowing red-eyed, and everybody's just like, oh, there's red lights coming at us. That's not great.
By the way, the size of these bugs, it's about like 4 or 5 stories.
Yeah,
they're
huge.
very
big.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm perfectly within my right to be terrified of these things.
Just don't step on them.
Look.
You would have a hard time stepping on them.
Yes,
Do you
I
have
would.
a tank? You don't have a tank.
She is able to, because she's able to keep the baby from being hurt or hurting itself even further, and through that act of compassion on her part, slowly, like the Ome lose their anger towards just their general rage, and they stop rampaging. But meanwhile, she is essentially dying on the battlefield.
There is a cool shot of from above where you see this big group of like all these red eyes and stuff, and then suddenly this like blue comes out in the middle. It's pretty cool.
And it just sort of slowly the rage is dissipating and all of that.
Yeah.
And so she has this ecstatic experience of the tentacles come out and heal her, and people are like, hey, what's the deal with the blue dress? And hey, wait, and all of a sudden they realize, oh, this is the prophecy of the person who's going to lead the new age of restoration, of harmony between Earth and the humanity. The princess, the evil Tolmekians are like, I think we got to leave because this girl can control the bugs. So I don't know what happens after they leave, because the story really does just kind of stop there with,
just abruptly ends.
It's just
like,
yeah, I have a feeling like the story goes on from here, but where this ends is
kind of like the end of Dune, the 1984 Dune.
Yeah, it just kind of ends. Yeah.
You're already at 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And they can only put so much into this film, but yeah, it just kind of ends, and we get this like little montage as the credits roll of the people, the people of the valley, rebuilding their town and replanting their forest that has been destroyed, and that underneath the toxic jungle, a non-toxic tree is starting to grow between the petrified trees. So
by her mask that she cast off because she could breathe.
Because she could breathe. Because she realized that there was a way to rehabilitate the land, and so that you wouldn't have eventually there would not be a toxic jungle, and that the toxicity was not as bad as it was, especially if you're of a younger generation. Apparently that's like a thing. I don't know. I read it online. But yeah, that's the end of the film. What was actually cut then from the first time this was put out in 84, 85 in the United States?
Yeah, so they brought it out on 84, 85. And it was typical of the time. They would just take films from Japan and just cut them up to try to make them work for American audiences. So the big scene, the big one that they take out, which you sort of cut from your explanation, which is funny, is the fact that she shows Lord Yupa the whole point of what the toxic jungle's doing, revealing that she, in trying to cure her father, has figured out that the toxic jungle is only toxic because of the toxins in the ground, and that the jungle wouldn't be toxic if there wasn't toxins already in the ground, and that all of their land is toxic. And one of the topics they don't really bring up here, but it's big in the manga, is humanity is also poisoned. So there's a whole well, what do we do if we're trying to purify the earth, to make it a great place again? Humanity is also poisoned. So
what do we do about all the microplastic?
Do we have to all die? No, part of the conversation is does humanity have to go extinct in order for the earth to completely rebirth into a non-toxic planet?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So but that's what it deals with. That's the issues that it starts trying to deal with in the manga that are different from that. But in this film, I mean, in this cut, they just cut that out. That kills. If you lose that scene where she shows that she has discovered that the jungle's actually like good.
Yeah.
You lose, probably 80% of the
meaning
great positive message the movie's trying to put out.
And as you say, I really just glossed over that part entirely. I didn't get into it, and you're right. Why would... It's not even that long of a scene, really, but it does explain a lot of, what, like, the background of what's going on. And so, yeah, why cut that?
That's like the most brutal cut. The other ones I'm not as familiar with, but that one, cutting that out, you would watch the movie and be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's
you sort of brought up when you were saying that she was brilliant, kind of a scientist type of thing.
Yeah.
Like because there's a scene where you before like they have to take the Pajites or.
Well, before they're invaded, I think, by the Tolmekians.
No, this is after.
Oh, this is after? Okay, I'm sorry.
Because she's about to go with them.
Right, okay.
And
right.
Yupa finds them in this. It finds her in this like secret passageway going down, and then.
Yeah, and that's where she's like, I'm just going to destroy this because it's not useful anymore because I was trying to save my dad. And then he's like, you figured this all out?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I
have been out there wandering around trying to find the source of these things,
but yeah, it kills the environmental message of the film. Like it kills your ability to understand really what's going on there. I mean, I think they may or may not have cut some of the part where you were talking about where you find that they find themselves in the pure area underneath too. And if you just take that out, then it's just like a big fight between a couple of countries and like insects that happen to all be
it's
kind
like
of terrible.
They go in the quicksand. It's like, and then they got out.
And then whoop, 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 whoop.
So that sounds horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So would you then compare, if you could, tell us what, like, are there any major differences between the manga and what we just saw? Like, is there anything missing that's in the manga? And I don't mean like, oh, it should have had this, or like, oh, they should have been this character. Like, is there any like kind of thematically does it work as do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the movie it's kind of underplayed that she has some sort of like special like connection to the insects. I mean, it shows that she understands them, but it doesn't like distinctly say, oh, she has like the psychic power to like talk to the insects and understand them. In the manga, there are other psychics and other people with like weird mental powers. Humanity is like mutated a little bit out in the jungle. And there's actually in the manga, I just remembered this, there's actually a group of humans called like worm handlers that live in the toxic jungle, like all the time. Yeah, it definitely feels very Dune-ish. Definitely heavily inspired by Dune, Star Wars. But yeah, it does a lot with that.
Yeah.
And there's like, there's like the cloning, an emperor that's trying to stay young, just like the emperor. Yeah. But probably before they start talking about the emperor, like before, because Star Wars introduces that like later as like a concept, not really in the beginning.
Although clones were mentioned right in the beginning. But,
but again,
that's probably taking from something earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all just Dune, isn't it? Everything goes back to Dune.
Well, I don't know. I know there's something called Lensman. Do you know about Lensman?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that movie.
I don't know. Like, I think that was some kind of, I don't know if it was a comics or something, but it
was novels, light novels, I believe.
And
sci-fi.
Is that late 60s or?
Oof, man, it's been a long time.
What is it? Do you know?
I know it has a force. It has a lot of
precursors to the Star Wars. It is like I believe it inspired Star Wars, a couple of Star Wars concepts.
Cool. I gotta read up on this.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we saw Heavy Metal and we saw was it Neverwhere, and that obviously influenced Star Wars as well. The Neverwhere, not the Neil Gaiman book, but there was a 1960s short, like mostly animated film that later then kind of got remade in the movie Heavy Metal.
Wait, is this the Den part?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Den.
But
That's the part I remember.
but you know, that has like the hologram and everything. You know, it's very obviously like this is something that Lucas would have seen. But like even all of that, you're just going back to you know what, like
Flash Gordon
and the John Carter of Mars books and all that type of stuff. I mean, you know, I joke, oh, everything's Dune, but really everything is, you know, Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah.
You know, and everything is Lawrence of Arabia, and everything is, you know, like nothing is ever one thing. Nothing, you know, everything is Jules Verne. You know, my sister was saying, oh, you know, the outfits remind me of Flash Gordon. Well, of course they do. You know, like how could they not? But you know, like nothing is.
What's that Moon Man short that we'd always see on Mystery Science Theater?
Oh, Commando Cody?
Yeah.
Commando Cody is also like definitely in there. Yeah. And you know, so Nausicaä is kind of playing in the same sandbox, and it's just a great version of that. I mean, but I think what makes this to me stand apart is the environmental and social message, and the acknowledgement that even the most special psychic princess in the world, she still has that same sort of problems that every human has of anger and the danger of that in her. You know, I think that's fantastic that that is part of this.
FYI, Lensman, 1984 anime adaptation.
Really?
Film.
Oh, that's something to think about. I definitely want to see where this story actually goes. So I needed to read some Nausicaä, the manga. So he never like bothered to make like a sequel or anything to it.
No, I was actually really hoping that like for his last work that he would go back and like revisit Nausicaä to bring it back and like do a full like TV show or something that dealt with that.
I fear we're just not in an environment that does. I mean, also I think he's just tired and doesn't want to, you know. He did the Boy and the Heron
I mean, Ghibli's looking for sure hits these days because they've been, you know, hit or miss for a while. I mean, his son has put out questionable works.
Yeah.
Is his son the one that did the Earthsea?
Yes.
Yeah. That he was like,
Yeah, he's like, man, why can't my son be better?
Oh, well, honey, there's your angry dad.
I mean,
you know, like there's our questions. Is there a dog? No, there is a fox squirrel.
There's not a dog, but they all dress like dogs as far as I'm concerned. Like
they all dress like dogs.
Oh no, like that breathing apparatus that they have, it looks like they all look like dogs.
And all the guys with their mustaches look like schnauzers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there death? Oh my God, there's so much death in this.
Yeah.
This is a pretty death forward sort of movie for, you know, I mean, I realize it's not necessarily for children, but you know, children would probably watch this. There's a lot of dead people in this.
I showed this to my 5-year-old.
I think you could.
At that point.
I mean, no.
And I was surprised when she had latched onto it and continued to watch it for the next 6 years or so. That's been.
I'm not actually. No. If I had seen this as a kid, I would have fallen absolutely in love with it. This would have been entirely my wheelhouse. I am not shocked if a kid sees this and it's just like, hell yeah.
Yeah, she's really into Star Wars too, huh? I wonder why.
Weird. But yeah, I mean, as for angry dads, no. If anything, like the father figures in this are all rather, you know.
I mean, there was
supportive.
a flashback.
Yeah, that's true.
Where her dad has to take away the baby that she encounters.
That's a good point.
Briefly angry dad.
Yeah.
Briefly angry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a love triangle? No. The funniest thing is
you know what? We watched those promos, the Japanese promos. It promised romance and love. And
she loved the earth.
She did love the earth
and the trees.
Yes, she loves those trees.
That's the triangle.
She just met those trees, and yet she loves them. It's a little quick.
There's a love triangle between Tamikia, Pedjay, and the Valley of the Wind.
Yeah.
Sure, that's what that was.
We sure would love to have that.
Yeah.
You didn't even talk about the general, the one that is wearing armor.
Yeah.
Like she's portrayed as like she wants to be like really a hard like person. She wants like no like tolerance, just, you know, get what we need and get out. But like you can see like Nausicaa's influence on her just like slowly working away. But even her, she's given enough. She's not given a lot, but she's given enough for you to understand her position. Like, because she's wearing this, she wears this armor half the time, and like you find out that she really has no side of her body because like it was eaten by insects at some point.
Right, like their fear of the insects is not irrational.
Oh no,
like
it's very rational.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, you know, as much as like, yeah, no, I don't, you know, obviously I don't support the Tolmekian Empire, but I can understand why like they want to get rid of the bugs, and because they don't understand how the toxic jungle is working, they just want to get rid of the toxic jungle. Like they're not.
And there is a lake of acid. There's a lake of acid there.
Right, exactly.
That's where they go swimming. That's fine.
I mean, look, it's not that different from going to the Jersey Shore in the 1980s. Did I get in Pateco a couple years in a row? Sure, but I still went in. So no, I mean, like, their reasons for doing what they're doing. They're not evil, cackling, you know, I just love killing stuff. You know, this isn't Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
She really feels like she wants to, though.
Yeah.
And then but she can never get fully there. And
yeah. But that's okay, because she's got her sidekick to be like, you know, the other bad guy. And
he's the best. The lieutenant has the best lines in that.
Yeah, and he is played by Chris Sarandon, who I think most people know from The Princess Bride. He's, you know, Prince Humperdinck.
What was the other movie?
Fright Night.
Fright Night.
Yeah, he's the vampire in Fright Night, and he's just great. He's so much fun in this. You know.
Yeah, he's left behind during the times, and he's just like, this old soldier ambition seems to be growing. Maybe I can become the leader.
Yeah, maybe I can coup. It'll
and
be
then
fine.
a second later, she like walks back. When he finds out, he thinks she's dead, and then she like comes back. And he's like, well, a man can dream.
He's great in this. The whole voice cast really is fantastic in this. You know, I think this is one of the best dubbed films I've seen, actually, just in terms of like the way everybody is like voice acting in this.
No, not dubbed in the 80s. Well, it was in that horrible one that we were talking about, which we will never see.
Yeah, no, I have no. But
dubbed far later, so that's probably why it's better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's true. So this came. The version we watched is the dubbed version put out by Disney Studios in 2005, I think, something like that. So, yeah, back in the 2000s, they made a deal with Studio Ghibli, and they redubbed a bunch of stuff. So that's kind of the versions we've been watching. So when we watched Porco Rosso, that was also the same thing.
They're like
with
the
Michael
definitive
Keaton.
dubs. Like you really don't want to go to anything that was done before that.
I don't see any reason to. I mean,
studios were terrible with like 80s dub properties, especially if they weren't like made by like direct fans or something like that, because they just, I don't even know what they were trying to do in some of these cases.
I think it was John Lasseter that was really into them or something. Like, I think he was a huge Studio Ghibli fan. So
it's like him or I always forget the other guy.
Brad Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, almost every American animator after Ghibli existed is inspired in some way from Ghibli. It's crazy. And I think I didn't really mention it, but like the little the cool bird chuckaboos that are in that are Lord Yupa's transportation in the beginning. Like, they're literally the inspiration for chuckaboos in all of the Final Fantasy games. I think one of the other things that was cool, some of the animation team that worked on it are the people that later went on to make Gainax and like Neon Genesis. And you can see that in everything. You can just there's so much inspiration from this movie if you watch a whole other most other anime. Like, you just see it all over. Plus everything that like we were saying before. Like in Castle of the Sky, you'll see some of the technology is like used again in that. It's crazy. It's how influential Nausicaä is to just anime in general. So I talked to Mary, and she thought that it would be great to hear from my daughter, who has watched Nausicaä Valley of the Wind like 200 times after we reviewed it in the latest episode of Mary vs. the Movies. So here's my daughter Kay, and The first question for her is, when is your first memory of watching Nausicaä, Valley of the Wind?
I think we were going to the beach or something, and my dad, my wonderful, glorious father, decided to put it up on, like, I don't know what it's called anymore.
The TV?
Yeah, the mini TV. And that's basically the first ever memory I've had of that, is just watching through it about, like, when I was maybe 4 or 5, I think.
Yep, a little early for Nausicaä, Valley of the Wind. What made you watch it over and over again?
Yeah, I just like the characters, and I found myself in a couple of them.
Which ones?
Nausicaä.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a pretty good one. Did the bugs scare you when you were little?
A bit.
Was it a little too violent for you?
No, not at all.
What do you think the message of the film is?
Be kind to your environment.
Yeah.
First of all, definitely don't pollute the world a lot, or you're gonna end up like that.
Don't awaken the God Warriors.
Yeah, definitely. Don't pollute your world too much, or try to keep eco-friendly, or bad things will happen.
Do you think this is one of your top 5 films?
Top 1.
Top 1. This is your number 1. Yeah, I know you're currently wearing a Nausicaä, Valley of the Wind shirt.
Subconsciously.
I know, isn't that funny?
I knew this is gonna go on.
Alright, well, just figured we'd add a little extra.
Alright, bye!
So that was Nausicaä of the Valley of the Wind with the American dubbing starring Alison Lohman, Patrick Stewart, Shia LaBeouf, Uma Thurman, Chris Sarandon, Edward James Olmos. Tress MacNeille actually was the old woman, and Mark Hamill, amongst others. Obviously written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki. I bet I said that wrong.
No, you did pretty good.
I did pretty good? Oh,
yeah.
Good. Yeah. I would love to actually learn Japanese, but I'm still trying to learn Spanish. So
I'm still trying to learn English.
Did you hear that, Kate?
Yes, Kate, come and correct my pronunciation. They lived in Japan. Well, they were on our episode on Tampopo. So anyway, Scott, thank you for coming on the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the con that you run?
Yeah, so I am the current. Well, I just changed roles slightly, but I'm the chairman of the board of directors for Zenkai Con, which is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, usually at the end of March, and we're a anime forward multi-genre convention, I would say. We got gaming and sci-fi and authors and comics, and
you have a ton of games.
Panels.
We've seen those games.
Yeah, well, that's my personal collection, but actually we have a ton of board games as well at that convention. But we pretty much take over the city of Lancaster. And if you haven't been, not the cell Lancaster, but just the convention itself is worthwhile. But the city of Lancaster has some of the best food in Pennsylvania. So, if you haven't been to Lancaster, it's a great time to go there at that point and go and also eat your way around the city as you go to the convention.
They absolutely have a great food scene. I was just reading an article in the Philadelphia Inquirer about that, actually. So yeah, that's exactly, folks. Check it out. Go there next March. Do you have a website?
Yeah, it's www.zenkaicon.com.
I will put that in the notes.
Spell that?
Dennis, I'll put it in the notes,
Okay.
folks. Don't worry. You'll be able to just click on the link in the notes. It's fine. All right. Again, thank you so much for coming on. This was great.
No problem.
And we will have you on again for more anime. All right. You can follow us on social media. We are Mary vs. Movies on all of your major platforms. We are on TikTok, where we have a new Reggie video. We are on Instagram. We are on Mastodon. Nobody's on Mastodon. Blue Sky, Facebook, whatever. We are there. Threads, of all things. I mean, there's a shocking number of people who are on Threads. I can't really get with it, but I'm, I know people in there. Anyway, so yeah, Facebook, whatever, Mary vs. Movies, Tumblr, Mary versus the Movies. Just go to our website, maryvsmovies.com, and you can get all kinds of information there. Let's see. We are on all of your major platforms. You can help rate and review the show. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Spotify. We are on YouTube. I don't think we're on Amazon Music because I have yet to figure that one out. But whatever. Otherwise, you can always get our RSS feed and plug it into whatever your podcatcher of choice is. We, of course, have a Patreon where you can help support the show for $3 a month because, when we do things, sometimes we have to rent movies. Sometimes we have to interview people. We have a Zoom account for that. Luckily, this time, Scott was able to come over to our house and bring his DVD. So this show is free. But most of the time, it's not free. We're renting movies. We're interviewing people. We have the server costs. So, it costs money to host the show. So, if, we do not have ads. We are not on a network. Nobody else is paying for it. This is just a labor of love. So if you want to help us out, you can pay $3 a month at patreon.com/MaryVSMovies. Do that on a browser. Don't do that using the app because Apple takes a cut. But which they don't need to take the cut. Anyway, Mary vs. Movies. If you sign up, then you also get access to our show Hollywood Avalon, where we watch Arthurian movies and TV shows and cartoons and even the occasional record. I know you're debating me that, Dennis, but I swear to God, I listened to the Rick Wakeman, thing. So yeah, we watch anything from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade to Apocalypse Now to...
There is an anime too out there.
Yes. Oh no, there's more than one anime that's Arthurian.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get into that at some point, and maybe we'll have you back on for that if we find a good one. Let's see. Our most recent episode, or the episode that's going to be out around the same time this comes out, is on The Silver Chalice, which is a movie from the 1950s about the Holy Grail. And I have a whole story in there about an incident between me and the aforementioned Kate and us looking for the Holy Grail. So you want to hear that story, you have to sign up for the Patreon. That's right. So if you want to hear us talk about that, if you want to hear us talk about Bugs Bunny cartoons and the TV show Merlin or whatever, patreon.com/MaryVSMovies. All right. I think that just about does it. I have no idea what our next movie is going to be, so we'll figure that out, and that's fine. Yeah. But I think that wraps it up then. So once again, Scott, thank you so much for coming on the show, and until next time...
Why does everything that's good for you have to taste so bad?